you know, I'm always about self-improvement. So, you know, trying to push ourselves to the next level, trying to do things that we typically wouldn't be comfortable with, things that we typically wouldn't, I guess, do, right, if we're a lesser version of ourselves, right? Because we're always growing. But there's, you know, of course, a point where we like to avoid certain things, right? And one thing that I would still get in, you know, little scuffles when I was younger, you know, growing up. Just people would try to bully me or whatever, and I just didn't take it. But it was never like, I feel like I've always just been more of a lover. And when it comes to like conflict and like, you know, fighting, it's always just been not necessarily a fear of mine, but I've never wanted to get rocked, right? Like I haven't, you know, till this point, right, I haven't really gone beat like that. But that clip in the beginning, actually, so referencing that clip in the beginning was, you know, even 4 months or 5 months into my training already. And I wasn't expecting that. It was kind of like, I thought we had agreed more like on light, right? But it was a eye-opening experience for me to have him rush me like that and you know, put me in this position of like fight or flight, right? And in the beginning, it almost looked like I was trying to fight. I was really just trying to get out of there. I had no idea what was going on because I was just getting banged on, right? And then of course I got back grounded, and then I shifted out and went back to what I had to do, right? So like I said, eye-opening experience for me. And so when it comes to things like that, like, you're scared, right? It's something like, if I had known that was gonna happen, I probably wouldn't even have gotten in the ring. You know what I mean? Like, it would have been more of like a fear, or my anxiety would have been higher because I'm like thinking to myself consciously, like, man, I'm about to get like rocked, you know what I mean? But that's how we grow, and that's how we do these things. We put ourselves in these positions to grow, right? And some people might say, well, you're just getting beat up, whatever. Like, how are you going to grow from that? Well, if I'm continuously training and I'm putting myself in those positions that are scary, right? That are scary, and you know, for most people, they might freeze, right? Like a deer running in front of a car that freezes, because it's just like, oh shoot, like it's in shock with the lights, whatever. Then you're never gonna grow from that, right? So you want to put yourself in that position to grow from an experience. So I've decided to do my first amateur fight. I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I definitely want to do it within 2024. My coach wants to do it in February, which is like a couple months from now. Chris, sorry if you're listening to this, but man, I don't know if I'm ready. But that could just be a mental thing, right? So I'm putting in the work regardless. I'm pushing myself and trying to hit new levels, and you know, that a part of that comes with my shift in training. So, you know, I've lifted. If you followed me for a while, I've always been like a lifter more than anything, and I dabble into boxing like here and there, like, you know, just really random times, like, and it was maybe just a couple months at a time. It wasn't really until last year, like around this time, maybe a few months back, I hired one-on-one, right? And of course, because it was one-on-one, my knowledge of like the basics and the fundamentals like was accelerated, as opposed to maybe a group setting where I couldn't be, you know, kept an eye on. So that really helped accelerate my fundamentals. But then I took a small break again. So I did that maybe for about 3 months, and then I took a break for maybe about 4 months. I say 4 months, maybe even 5 months. And now I've been consistent since, I know for sure since June. I thought it was late May, but it might be since June, and then until now, right? So I think that's about 5 months of consistency. I've definitely noticed a difference in my I guess like my skill set, you know, like as far as like my slips. I started incorporating my twos a lot more. So I'll show a video of my first ever like spar, like in the summer, and it's actually against the same person who I love sparring. He's like really good at the gym. He definitely challenges me, and he's the one who rushed me, right? So look forward to sparring him again. Jacob, shout out to you. But so I'll show that clip, and then I'll show like something more recent, right? And maybe to me, of course, I'm always going to be my hardest critic. I'll be like, man, still got to work on that head movement, still got to work on, you know, that footwork. But if you put the work in, you're going to get the results. So if you're consistent about it, and even though it might not seem like you're getting any better, maybe the fear's still there, like, because it comes down to mental things in these types of sports, right? So it's all like repetitiveness, consistency. And so yeah, so this is, I guess, maybe just my announcement for something that I'm going to do, but it's really to also teach you. You know, I'm 29 years old. You know, I started a lot later than a lot of people, right? I'm not expecting to become, you know, Gervonta Davis, no Tank, no Mayweather, no Canelo, right? I mean, you never know what God has planned for you, though, but not saying that that's going to happen. But I'm definitely going to give it my all, right? I want to push myself. I want to be able to break these barriers, and I'm more than sure that things like this are going to be able to like transfer into like my business, right? So, because having a business is scary too. Quitting your job is scary too. These are all things that, you know, a lot of people don't really react well to. And to people who are like, I guess maybe not necessarily, you know, or I guess like me, sorry, you know, I'm going back and forth, but I'm not trying to count people out. The reason I'm going back and forth is I don't want to like say like I'm like this special person, because I'm not, right? But I've made these jumps, and so that's why I say like me. But who are not afraid of taking risk, and not afraid of jumping and going into the unknown and doing things that are out of their comfort zone. Like you understand me, like, you know what it takes. It's just consistency, doing the work. It really comes down to like the fundamentals right at the beginning. So yeah, first fight coming in 2024, not exactly sure when, but I know that I'm gonna train for it. We're gonna, you know, do what we can. I want to have hands. I do. You know, that's a goal of mine, is literally just to have hands. I don't want to fight with nobody. You know, like I said, I'm a lover, not a fighter. But I gotta channel that inner beast somehow, right? So I'm working on that. I'm trying to bring that aggression out when I get into, you know, sparring. Not that I'm trying to go hard, you know, unless I need to, if that's what my coach tells me, right? But it's more of, you know, pushing yourself, hitting new levels, and so. Let's get it, guys. Let's push ourselves, put ourselves in different positions. If you have something you want to go for, don't be afraid to commit to it, even if it's just like, you know, it seems out of your reach. Like, who cares? Dream big, and let's get it.
Okay, Kino, I see.
Dreaming, talking in your sleep. I know you want to cry all night.